My friends, hello and welcome to GoldenEye SpeedLore, the series where we learn about speedrunning one stage in GoldenEye, the strategies discovered, the techniques used, and the players that made it all happen. And tonight is a very special night, as it's the premiere of Season 4 of GoldenEye SpeedLore. Believe it or not, it was 3 years ago around this time when we did the first episode, Frigate Secret Agent. And now, 3 years and 27 episodes later, we're into the home stretch of GoldenEye stages. But fear not, because the stages left this year are truly remarkable, full of epic stories, legendary videos, and this is exactly what we have for you today. Train Secret Agent. And this one culminates in perhaps the most epic, legendary GoldenEye video ever. I mean, you know, aside from Streets 112, but this one's up there. This one's up there. I hope you are all ready. But first, we have some business to attend to. Let's learn about the objectives of Train Secret Agent and watch an example run. The objectives. Objective A, destroy brake units. Objective B, rescue Natalia. Objective C, locate Yana's secret base. And Objective D, escape to safety. Now, the brake units, they're pretty obvious. I think there's 6 of them. You'll see when we're going to break them. Rescue Natalia involves shooting Ormov, causing him to pass away. That frees Natalia. Then she can go hack on a computer, locate the Yana's secret base, and then from there you have to escape to safety as the train is blowing up. So here's an example run I did last night. It's very pedestrian, but it'll give a great idea on how it's done. So we load into the train. Train's the 14th level in the game. We fire at some guards. There's 4 guards in this first car. So we're taking cover behind all these wooden crates and firing at these guards. Okay, they've all passed away. They've all met their maker. Now, in this box, on Agent is an RCP-90. Very useful. But on Secret Agent, it's only a DD-44 Dostoevsky. So it's not a very useful weapon. It's just, you know, a pistol, a strong pistol. And so it's not something that's going to help your speedrun. On Agent, when you're a beginner, the RCP-90 could help your speedrun. But on Secret Agent, that doesn't work out for you. It's a strong pistol, but it's not anything that's going to be fast. So taking some damage from there's a lot of guards in here. There's 2 guards wearing black outfits. Oh, so that's a break. You saw me destroy one earlier. The black outfitted guards can be in pretty much any spot in the room, or like several spots. They're kind of random, so you have to kind of adjust for that. Now I'm just going to pull out the watch laser and kind of go for it. Destroy another break there, and another one there. And I think later on I kind of come back and try to clear out these areas just for the sake of it. Just kind of show you how many guards you're leaving behind. An important aspect of Train that we wouldn't really realize till years later is the more guards you eliminate, the less lag there is at the end of the stage. And that's very important because more lag makes it more difficult to do the locks at the end of the stage. You can see nice train car. It's a nice level. Some doors are locked. A guard will come out of that door. There can be a random number of black-suited guards in this room. There's going to be 2 coming out of here. There can be anywhere from 0 to 4 in that previous green room, and then again there'll be like anywhere from 0 to 3 in the next room. And so that is random, and it's something that can impact your speedruns. There can be anywhere from 0 to 2 in that room, maybe even 3. And we'll see as the night progresses what's going on. So I just figured I'll go back and check out. Yeah, I knew that one guard was going to come later. So this door is locked until you break the final break. Break control. Objective A completed. Now 2 guards will come out of that room. And one of them has the door key. Now we come in here. You have to eliminate Ormov, otherwise he will eliminate Italia. That's not nice. And so I'm shooting him a couple times here, injuring him. You don't need to do this, but this will help us illustrate a point later on in the episode. Ormov also has a Dostave weapon. We don't need to pick it up, though. And you'll see eventually, Trevelyan says, "Good luck with the floor, James." A timer counts down. Natalia will start hacking the computer in a couple seconds as well. So there she's moved in to hack the computer, and she's going to say something along the lines of, what's she going to say? Boris is still backing up his files. I can find out where they're going. And then you have to wait until she finds out where they're going. He's in Cuba. Then you can leave the train, and you run to the end. If you were to leave the train before she found that out, she would stop hacking, she would fail the objective, and she would follow you out of the room. So here we go. All the objectives completed. And the time is a very pedestrian 4:11. Beautiful. A very nice run. And yeah, so if you were to leave the train before Objective C completed, locate Yanis' secret base, she would, you'd have her rescue Objective B. She would then think you're going to do Objective D, escape to safety, and she would just forget about Objective C, follow you out of the train, and you'd fail the mission. So, you have to wait in the train for her to finish that objective. Now, let's watch our first run of the night. And even before that, our pal Joris Quevedo drafted up this very nice post for us on the forum. All these world record history of train secret agent in the early days. And for some reason, the train records don't have many videos. Jortis claimed a 230 with no video. Then Sterling a 153, no video, tied by Wouter. And you see we're progressing through 98, 99, 2000 here. What a time to be alive. I know there's probably some people watching who weren't alive then, but I tell you, it was a time to be alive. Wouter 152, Tim Grenby ties it. Wouter 151, Tim Grenby ties it again. A couple others tie it. Wes, Sterling, these legends. Carl unties 148 on January 1st, 2001. No video. And then we'll get to the first video we'll show today. Tim Grenby's 148 from January 2001. Let's take a look. So you're going to see he's just going to run through the mission with the watch laser out. And he's barely eliminating any guards, opening the doors, just running right through. This really is ancient history. The video looks like it's been pulled out of an Egyptian crypt. And he is strafing along, eliminating guards. Now he's kind of taking a few more out. Okay, there's 3 guards or 4 guards in that room, 1 in this room, 1 coming out of that door. He's going to just carry on fast. Okay, that's a very interesting strategy. I'm sure many of us did not see that before. He runs right in and shoots Ormov. That is pretty useful, I would say. Because the timer, there's like 2 timers going on right now. One is counting down how soon Italia is going to start hacking the objective, and thus how quickly she'll complete Objective C. Another timer is counting down how long it'll be until this timer at the bottom of the screen starts. And the timer at the bottom of the screen will start at a fixed time after your first Ormov shot. But the timer between Natalia starting to hack, and there's a efficiency completed, now we can leave. The timer from when Natalia starts to hack the computer doesn't start until Ormov passes away. So you kind of have two timers going on, both based off one's when you first shoot Ormov, and the other's based off when Ormov is no more. When Ormov's pushing up daisies. So that's a 148 on Trained Secret Agent, and we can't really see it, but we take it for its word, so very, very nice stuff by Tim Grenby. And what's really interesting about Tim Grenby here is that a month later, Wouter would untie this again with 147. Grenby would tie it in August. The next day, the record would get beat. Grenby would lose it again. Randy Bukima gets it 146. Tim Grenby would tie it. And so Tim Grenby actually slayed the Untied, tied the Untied 5 times on this stage, but never got the Untied himself, which is kind of remarkable. He would get an Untied on Train Double Agent, which, that episode's still to come, so we'll find out more about it then. But yeah, no Untieds for Tim Grenby on Secret Agent. Now the next Untied, the first Untied of 2002 on this stage, would go to one Isa Smith. And Isa was kind of an old legend and one of the guys who's been around the longest. He's been around pretty much 20 plus years straight in the community. And this is one of his more famous Untied world records in the game. Unfortunately, no video either. But it is notable that he got the Untied on the stage. I just want to see how many Untieds he actually got in his career in GoldenEye. I think he got more than just this one, but let's see. 7 Unties. 7 Untieds. But this one was probably his most well-known. And he would get some pretty crazy records later on, some pretty impressive stuff. So, a good player, and someone who's been a good player for 20 plus years. So there you go. But hey, no video, no didio. I mean, not that we had that mentality back then. People pretty much took it at face value, especially if you proved your ability to play the game on other stages, which he had done at this point. Now, one interesting thing you'll notice here is that it says the system he used was PAL. You see this in the right side of the screen? PAL. We wouldn't know it at this time, but most of the record holders on this stage would be PAL players, that is, European or Australian. And over time, we would generally learn that the leggier the level, and Train is certainly one of the leggier levels, PAL seems to run more smoothly on leggy levels than NTSC does. And so it doesn't give any direct advantage, like speed-wise, but it makes it easier to play, easier to perform. You don't lose inputs. You don't lose contact when you're taking off the lasers. I think the laser actually shoots faster on PAL. It shoots like more frames per second. So there you go. The PAL has a couple advantages, and that's why most of the records, and certainly, especially as we move later on, they'll be all PAL. Yeah, if anyone knows the exact number, the exact speed comparison, I remember seeing a forum post about it once, but it's like, I think the PAL, it's something like the PAL laser shoots every other frame, and on NTSC it shoots like once every 3 frames. Something like that. So you end up getting like 12 in a second on PAL and 10 in a second on NTSC. But if anyone finds the post, I'll definitely check it out and share that info as we move forward. And move forward we would. So Isa's 145 would be untied for about 9 months. Wouter, another PAL player, would finally match it. Then Matthijs ten Ham, another PAL player from Netherlands, both him and Wouter, would also tie it. And so, who would get 144? Well, it would be Wouter Jansen. And surprisingly, there's no video of that 144, which is kind of crazy because Wouter made like videos for all of his times, all of his records. So that's kind of surprising that he didn't make there's no video of the 144, but that's no matter, because half a year later, in October 2003, Wouter Jansen would get this speedrun. And this speedrun is a remarkable one, which would last many, many years. And it was the record when I joined, and sort of it's emblazoned in my mind as the first record of Train Secret Agent. The record is so remarkable. It's dedicated to our SpeedLore champion, Robert G. Thanks, Robert, for supporting SpeedLore on Patreon. Let's take a look at this beautiful speedrun by Wouter Jansen from October 2003. He's really looking down, really trying to destroy the brakes and eliminate guards as quickly as possible. You can see a couple bumps and stucks on guards. But pretty solid. Runs right in. That part where he runs towards Ormov and lasers him is pretty tough. A lot can go wrong. Like the laser's not firing at every frame. So sometimes what happens is you get to Ormov and the laser, you miss the frame. So just like by bad luck, you get too close to Ormov, he shoots Natalia and you fail the mission just because the laser wasn't firing at the right frame. And that can be unfortunate. So he's standing there to make sure the guards don't warp through the door, warp through the wall. He's just waiting until he knew when the objective was going to complete and timed it to leave exactly right. It fades out at 16.5 fade out. Very nice run. 143. Amazing untied record. A really, really, really good untied record. That one would last a long time. Like I said, 03, I joined in 05. It was still the record. Yeah, a legendary run. And you guys are right. The gameplay still looks really good. And, looking back this time, it holds up really, really well, all things considered. And you'll see just how well it holds up later on towards the end of this episode. I'm actually really impressed. I never thought about it in this way because obviously a lot's still yet to happen, but Wouter's good. There was a reason he's like the ultimate first champion of the game. And who knows, maybe he'll prove himself again someday, but he left his mark on the game for sure. Amazing stuff. Now, of course, Boss would come along not that much later. In May 2004, Boss would tie the 143. Let's watch the run. So this will be done on NTSC, so it would be a bit tougher, but you're going to see very similar strategy. Wouter also got stuck on that guard. Just trying to shoot, back boost there. Taking out the laser, taking out the brakes. And it's tough. It's tough to aim and take out the brakes so quickly and then immediately go back to taking out guards. 2 guards in that room, none in that room, 1 in that room. There'll probably be 2 in this. Nope, none. Wow. He really has not defeated a lot of guards here. Okay, so he's went right to Ormov, taking out Ormov. Now, it looked to me as if the first laser hit was on Ormov's shoulder, not on his head, so he might get like a couple frames. Natalia's objective might complete a couple frames later than it did on say, Wouter's run. But he'll probably be able to leave the room here at 29.5 again. Seems to be when the objective completes. And so now all he has to do is wait until the objective completes, around 29.5 seconds. You could stand here or there, doesn't really matter. You're not at risk of passing away from the guards, you have a lot of health. So he's going to build speed, wait for the objective, completes. It was like it was like 29.3 in that case. He's going to strafe to the end. Probably like a 16.2, 16.5 fade out, pretty good. 1:43 by Boss, May 2004, and that's pretty much when Boss was at his peak. Maybe even like a couple weeks after his like absolute peak. Probably around then. He was trying to get every single record in the game. He came pretty close, and he knew that while PAL felt better on Train, he didn't have access to it at the time. He had to like find it within himself to reach even harder and get the record, and he was able to do that. So very nice by Boss. So here's the records as of October 2003, and we can see Wouter has a Train sweep, pretty nice, and the total time is 1:18:07. And then we'll go even a year past Boss's 1:43, and now we can see that it's mostly Boss has taken over. Train, Boss is tied 00. Boss and Dan Cervone have tied Secret Agent 1:43, and now we're a full minute lower on the overall combined time. So a lot of time is starting to drip off the rankings. Now, Boss had an idea in early 2006, and this would impact the way Train would be played for the rest of time. Boss thought the timer for Natalia to start hacking and completing Objective C starts when Ormov is defeated. So what if, instead of running all the way into the room at the end and shooting him with the laser, what if you instead were able to shoot him from here? The laser doesn't shoot that far, but what if you took out a weapon and shot? Would it save time? Well, we would find out in January 2006 on this remarkable speedrun. A speedrun so remarkable, in fact, it's dedicated to our SpeedLore champion, Corey Meyer. Thank you for supporting SpeedLore on Patreon, Corey. Enjoy this speedrun, and everyone take notes, because this is a very important speedrun in Train history. Very fast start. Doesn't get stuck there. This run's looking good. Oh, a bit of a stuck there, unfortunately. Taking out the brakes. Back boost. Eliminating a lot of guards. Nice turn there. Eliminating lots of guards. No guards there. Two there. He got one of them. Gonna get that one. Skips those guards. Destroys the brakes. Switches to D5K. Shoots Ormov. Now the timer begins for Natalia to escape. To start hacking and to escape. Now, you won't see it on the bottom screen timer. It'll still probably complete around 29.5 seconds. But he activated that timer earlier by shooting him from further away. So he may have saved some time there. So he's got the locks off already, it's great. That's a great question, S.E. Valentine. We may find out a little bit later on. $16.7 fade out, pretty insane. That's like the objective probably, or I mean, that was a pretty fast ending, we'll say. 142, a new untied world record by Boss. Amazing run, really an amazing and influential run. Wow, yeah, that's a wild one. Important because things would really get crazy over the next couple of weeks. Oh, would they ever? If you look at the rankings now, January 31st, 2006. Look, the overall combined times dropped like 20 some odd seconds in under a year. A lot of new players are coming along. You know, there's me, there's Ilu. Ilu's got some untieds. Henrik's playing well. Carl's back in action. Alex Anderson has an untied. These are good times. These are great times. Anyone who remembers, you know, the internet in 2006, I think looks back on it fondly. It was good times for sure. But hey, a storm was brewing for sure. A young man, nay, a child, by the name of Perfect Ace. Perfect Ace was literally 10 years old at the time. And he had shown his skill, his prodigy in Perfect Dark. And now he's turned to GoldenEye. Perfect Ace is playing on the PAL console as well. Let's see what Ace can do. I mean, this run looks fast, no stucks. I mean, okay, the guard was kind of in the way of that break, not hugely. He keeps full speed on that break. I mean, that's thinking about like a 10-year-old trying to figure out that strategy. Like, how can I save time on this level? It's actually, like, prodigy is the only word to describe it. Takes with a break. He opts to run in. He doesn't have to worry about those two guards. He has lots of time to kill them now. And now he just has to wait for Natalia to complete the objective. Oh, a guard is harassing him there. That's not very nice. You see this back in the day, people standing in this position to take off the locks. It's kind of weird. Just gonna wait. 29.5 is gonna run. He's timing his leave. He's out. Objective C completed. Ace had a fail of the same time as this run the day before, leaving the train a bit too early. Yeah. 16.6. Train Secret Agent 141, a new untied world record. An amazing speedrun. I feel like I need to show what it looks like when you leave the train too early. You know, like, I should have prepared a video for this, but, like, I think I have to illustrate what happens when you leave the train too early. And I think I have no choice but to, like, play one out live, you know? Just to show what happens. I honestly wasn't intending this, but I think it has to be done. Let's see. Let's see if we can pull in the, Here we go. No, I mean, it's important that I illustrate exactly what happens here. So let's do it. Well, I'm not going to get the untied. I'm going to play it safe. I'm going to play it basically like the example run, but, you know, I might even, I might cut out some of it, I might not. We'll play it a bit faster than the example run, I guess, but... My PB is not 8 seconds off the record, and it pretty much my whole career has been 8 seconds off the record, so... Although, maybe that could change if I ever get PAL going. You know, I was thinking I gotta set up PAL to play Attack Ship Agent. And, you know, PAL might be the thing that brings me back into GoldenEye, at least for, you know, a couple of sessions, so... Who knows? Who knows? Oh man, I'm at risk of passing away here. This is bad news. Gotta play it safe. Okay, here we go. Clean up train times? I mean, it would be cooked. It would be cooked. Who knows if it'll happen. At least improve them slightly, you know? I mean, this gives you a good idea of all the chaos you're running through on this stage, you know? It's... There's a lot going on. Oh no. And, oh yeah, there's also no body armor on any difficulties of this level. Which makes it, like... also difficult, especially if you're playing, you know, double agent for completion or anything like that. So it's a hard level to survive. Oh my god, I'm gonna pass away. If I pass away, I'm literally cutting this out. Okay. There we go, look at this. We met the daisies, boys. We're literally gonna just fade to black. It is kind of interesting, though, because on train, it's one of those levels where, like, the faster you go, it's almost the easier it is to survive. On some levels, like, say, a damn double agent, the faster you go, the harder it is to survive. Because you're spending less time, you know, doing safe strats and injuring guards and so on and so forth. But on train, you don't want to injure guards. You just want to blast right through them. And the longer you kind of screw around in their close proximity, the easier it is to get hit. I mean, you can see, like, right now I'm just blowing through these guards, hardly taking any damage. I'm going to take out this ZMG guy, because I like the ZMGs. Okay. You know, this is how washed you can get in a matter of weeks if you're not careful, guys, so... There we go. Oh man, we're at risk again of passing away. It's pretty scary. Okay, check this out, guys. So there's the brakes. So this is what's going to happen if you leave early. So Ormov's been taken out. So Natalia's going to start hacking her objective, right? Oh my god. Okay, so she's hacking away. I know she's going to complete objective C at like 29 seconds. If I leave early, she just says, "I'm coming, James." And she's going to follow me out of the train. And now she's ignored her objective C, and we're going to see this will show objective C failed. There she's out of the train, and I've passed the front of the train, and the level's going to start fading out. And see, objective C has failed. Not good. You're not going to get a record with the objective failed, so... Yeah, that's why you have to wait in the train for her to finish hacking and finding, you know, finding objective C. Okay. So, that's exactly what Ace did. on this 141, this beautiful 141. Amazing time. Comes in here, and you know, he's got to wait. He's got to do the locks, and he's got to wait, you know, 25 seconds, 30 seconds or more, and leave the train. So if you escape and you don't eliminate Ormov, Natalia also won't hack the objective. On Train Agent, if you watch that episode, you'll see that it actually works if you escape the train early. It can still complete because there's no Natalia hacking objective. So you don't have to defeat Ormov, you can just run to the end, and the game thinks you've completed it all. But on Secret Agent and Double Agent, you have to eliminate Ormov so that Natalia can hack away. Now, something very strange would happen here, okay? You know, here's Ace, Train 106, you know, runway 38, great. Ace, Train Secret Agent 141. First on leaderboard, sorry, Henrik. Henrik immediately posts, Train Secret Agent 136, 134, 133, 131. What exactly happened there? His original post was deleted. No, everyone was like, no, you must be trolling. Ace got a good record. Why are you trolling poor Ace, the young Ace? This is not right. This is not cool. But this is what Henrik posted. Would it be real? Was it real? Henrik then posted this. I wasn't really planning on revealing the strat until I had Double Agent down to a decent level, but since some people saw my 131 post as spam, they thought he was joking, I thought it was best to reveal it a bit earlier. The main idea with the strat is to get outside the train so that Natalia does not see you, and therefore you can just wait until the end until she's completed her work. In order to do this, you need to get out of the train a few seconds after Trev's first message. This needs some really fast locks, which can be really annoying. So when you've successfully escaped Natalia's scary sight, you can just eliminate guards outside or whatever, then wait at the end. And that's it. He thinks it saves 12 seconds for Secret Agent and 14 on 00. And, yeah, pretty insane. There's the 131 vid. We'll watch it in a second. Insane find. Most amazing since Aztec Glass Strat. It is. Boss says this. Henrik is lame for not thinking of the strat. He should be enjoying it because it's up there with the Aztec strat. I would go as far to say as it ranks right there with it because of how many more years it took to find. This means sub 116 total elite time will be much more in reach. Remember, we're at 1642. Congrats for putting yourself among with the greatest GoldenEye innovators of all time with this. You should be happy. I went crazy when I found the Aztec strat, that's for sure. A big congrats figuring out how to lessen the weight on train. Wow. So if you don't understand what's happened, we're going to watch and we're going to find out. There's his new claimed records. We've cut off 17 seconds of time. Let's see what happens. I gotta cut the song there. So the idea is if you can do the locks super fast, You know, very, very fast, faster than you normally would. You don't take your time doing them. If you can escape within a couple of seconds after that, good luck with the floor, James. Natalia will not, she has not started hacking yet, and so she doesn't notice you leave the train. You follow? So, it's like, if you remember in the example run, Natalia was kind of standing around for a while before moving to hack. If in that period of time where she's just standing around and hasn't started moving to hack yet, you escape, she won't notice. And now, you don't have to wait inside the train for the objective C to complete. You can wait at the end. And so, instead of leaving the train at 29.5 seconds left, you can leave the mission at 29.5 seconds left. In fact, about a second earlier, because the fade out takes about a second. So, Henrik faded out at 30.17. Objective C completes in the fade. Train Secret Agent 131, beating Ace's 141 by 10 seconds. And beyond that, he actually got this record before Ace's 141. So Ace's 141 was never actually the world record. Ace thought it was his first untied world record. It wasn't. It was not to be. Henrik had 131 the whole time, and Henrik felt bad that Ace had been trying so hard on Train Secret Agent. He finally decided to reveal the strategy after a few days of holding on to it. Yeah, pretty insane. February 8, 2006. I believe, I'm going to say it's a weekday. February. It was a, let's see, what day of the week was it? I like vaguely remember like being at school and coming home and be like, oh my, it was a Wednesday, yeah. And be like, what happened? And we all knew it was the biggest strategy find since the Aztec glass strategy. So huge. I mean, already cut off 10 seconds. And a cutoff equivalent on double agent. It didn't work on agent because there's no hacking objectives, but secret and double agent there are hacking objectives. It's saving at least 10 seconds on each difficulty, and in fact we can figure out easily how much time it will save, because you know the level on Henrik's 131 here fades out at 30.5, you know, a low 30. On Ace's 141, you know, he leaves here at the equivalent 29.5, and the level fades out at 16.6. So this is saving 14.5, 15 seconds on both difficulties. That's quite something for sure. Really one of the biggest discoveries, new strategy discoveries in GoldenEye history. I would say probably only surpassed by the Aztec glass strat, maybe on par with the Aztec glass strat. You know, there's been a lot of great strategies discovered, but those two cut off the most time by far. Pretty unbelievable. So right when this strategy was discovered, there was a lot of jockeying for new records and whatnot. And so in February and March that year, a lot of people will be playing for records and getting some records. Henrik's 131 on Secret Agent was decent enough to stand up for a little while, but there was a lot of improvements on Double Agent, and that kind of harkens back to Henrik's post where he said, oh, you know, I didn't want to share until I had a better time on Double O. But hey, his Secret Agent time was good enough. The 131 would be tied by Ilu 5 days later. And that makes sense because Ilu was another top 10 player, probably top 3 player at this point, who had the PAL console. So it makes sense our top PAL player would tie the 131. But a month later, on March 13th, 2006, Henrik would improve the 131 with this speedrun. Ilu had forgotten that he had tied it. And I should say, by the way, I saw a comment up here earlier. Resort PC says, you know, He's banned on the Elite for faking runs when he was 13 years old. It's now 8 years later. He's watching SpeedLore. He wishes he could compete. Honestly, Resort, I would say make a forum account or email a moderator and just tell them your situation. I think, 8 years ago when you were 13, I think we could forgive that. I think we could. So just email someone and make a forum post and see if you can get back in action. So this run is just going to be a pretty decent, faster run than the 131. And of course, the problem now is, and you'll see it come up, it's not easy to get out of the train on time. It's not easy. You have to get really fast locks, and on a world record pace run, your nerves are up, your heart rate's up, so you might choke it, and we might see a choke later on. Maybe one or two. It's very nerve-wracking to get the best run of your life and not do the locks fast enough. And yeah, there's Train Secret Agent 129, a 2-second untied by Henrik. Amazing stuff. Historic, great world records. Let's take a look here, actually. I want to see something for sure. If we look at Boss's 142, this is a good example because he got a headshot on Ormov. I want to see the exact time Objective C completes. And I suspect it'll be like 29.5? Oh man, he barely timed that well. Like, that's probably the threshold of when Italia starts to escape, 29.6. And so, we know the fade out is roughly 1 second. So, Henrik fading out at 30.4 on this one is roughly, it's 30.6 might be a perfect fade out, but 30.4 is pretty damn good. So there's the full extent of the time saved. Yeah, what does Boss's 141 fade out at? 16.7. So I mean, we're saving a full-on 14 seconds here. And well, if you're saving 14 seconds, if we're saving 14 seconds, Ace has 141 with this old strategy, you'd have to think 127 would be possible. Right? You'd have to think 127 would be possible. So, let's see what happens. February 2007, a full year later, would be one of the craziest eras of gaming in GoldenEye history. It would be unbelievable. I've spoken about this in Train Agent SpeedLore, Silo Secret Agent SpeedLore, Frigate Secret Agent SpeedLore. February 07 is unbelievable time. And Ace would... I think Ace got 11 untieds that month. I believe it's 11 untieds. Well, this is one of them. And in fact, the first one, there was no video. He tied Henrik's 129. He got 128, no video. A couple days later, Ace got this run. A run so remarkable, it's dedicated to our SpeedLore champion, Mr. Moxie. Let's take a look. So this run will probably just be as fast and as good as his 141. Old strat. It's kind of funny because the train escape the train early strategy was found in 2006. And like, we still call it the new strat. Which is kind of cute, kind of funny. Destroys the brakes. He's taking a lot of damage on this run. Usually on fast train runs, you don't take that much damage, but look how smooth that was, bolting right in there. Now he you could see Ormov took limb damage before passing away. So I estimate he'll have to leave the ending a little bit safer here. He might get like a 30.2 or 30.1 fade out. Still gonna save 13, 14 seconds. But it could have been even faster with a pure, you know, headshot on Ormov. Let's see what happens here. Wow, you logged in at the dedication run, Moxie. What are the odds? What are the odds of that? He's only about 33.5. It fades out at 30.0. Very wise by Ace there. Wise beyond his years. Trained Secret Agent 127. He lowered his own Untied. Amazing run. Truly remarkable. Truly amazing. Wow. Incredible. Incredible, impressive, stunning, beautiful. Amazing to think he was 11 years old this time now. Oh, pretty unbelievable. And even more amazing, he said, you know what? I'm going to lower my Untied again. And 3 days later, he did just that. Now this one, you can kind of tell he's a young Ace here. I have to mute this one. It has a Jimmy Eat World song in it. Wow, that was a terrible stuck. And you know, Henrik had put Jimmy Eat World in his train videos. So Ace is, you know, following what others do, is, you know, typical of a young lad, you know. And so he put the song in his train essay video, A New Untied. And let's aside from that one stuck in the second room, I mean, look how fast he bolts in there. I mean, damn, that's pretty nice. And then he has to nail the locks. I mean, imagine he had probably many runs of this pace where he simply did not do the locks fast enough to get outside before Natalia notices him. But this one he did. Amazing. And then there's nothing to do but get to the end and wait. Now, what's kind of crazy is on Secret Agent, you're generally fine out here. You can get hit once or twice by the guards in the back crates firing at you. But on Secret Agent, you have good health. On Double O, though, you can pass away at the very end on a world record pace run, and it's very frightening. So he leaves it like 33.6. Fade out is 30.4. You know, 0.3 faster than his previous run. And it's a 126 Secret Agent. An amazing, outstanding speed run. And 126 would remain the record, one of many Untieds Ace got at this time, in this month. He would have 152 on Double O and 101 on Agent. It was an unbelievable, remarkable Untied sweep. And you know what? For the sake of it, we're going to pull up the past rankings and show you just how epic this was. So February 28, 2006. Here we go. February 6, 2007. Well, you know, 1622, what are we at? 106, 131, 201. A lot can change in a year. 9 seconds, 5 seconds, 5 seconds. Yeah. And now we're a full over a minute lowered on our overall combined time. That's pretty swell. That's, man. It's like both the impact of Ace's skill and Henrik's discovery. I mean, this is like, you can see what I mean. This, look at February 07. You know, I have a Silo Untied sweep. Ilu has an Aztec Untied sweep, almost a Jungle Untied sweep. Boss has a Control Untied sweep. Ace has a Train Untied sweep. I think this is the most Untied sweeps by different players at any point in GoldenEye history. So this is the golden age of GoldenEye speedrunning, and yeah, just I can't help but look back nostalgically on this era. So the important thing on Train is that Ace has an untied sweep. He's cut 19 seconds off the Train records in the past year. And especially if we go back to the beginning of 06, again, we're at the end of 07. Remember these times, 101, 126, 152. If we go back to the beginning of 06, before the strategy was discovered, it's 19 seconds on 00, 17 on Secret Agent, 6 on Agent. So this is 42 seconds cut off the game's total time alone. 42 seconds on one stage. That is an impact in the game's history. And that's why, I mean, look, a minute and a half cut off the total time. But we got to move on. We got to move on. And of course, great champions like Perfect Ace tend to do this thing where even if they have the untied sweep and they're the best player, they still want lower. And so Ace had already lowered his untied 128 to 127 and that one to 126. And he would try once again to lower his untied for a third time on Train Secret Agent. And in January 2008, he would get this speedrun. One small back boost there, but one thing that always struck me about Ace's train runs is how fast he just somehow manages to keep his pace going. He just manages to keep full speed the whole time, on the brakes, on the guards, on everything. There's so many bumps that can get you stuck and to lose time, and he just blasts through them. And yeah, the way he keeps speed is unbelievable. And again, I mean, probably this wasn't his first 125 pace run. He may have had ones where he didn't do the locks fast enough. Those are some of the fastest locks I've ever seen. And what's another interesting tidbit is that on Secret and Double Agent, the speed at which you do the locks doesn't really have a direct impact on the end time. It just has to be fast enough to escape before Natalia notices. On Agent, however, which we've done, you know, that episode was nearly 3 years ago, the locks do have, like, the speed of the locks can always go faster, and it does have a direct impact on the end time, because you don't have to wait for Natalia's hacking objective at the end. But here we go. Train Secret Agent 125. Ace lowering another untied on the stage. Unbelievable. His fourth untied on Train Secret Agent. Fourth in a row. That's like a beyond hat trick, you could say. Amazing stuff by Ace. And this record would hold up for a long time. You know, one of the things to note for sure, especially on Train, is that Ace, again, most people recognize he's the best player ever. And in 08, you know, Clemens is close. Clemens is damn close. But Clemens never had PAL. And so on a PAL advantage level, Ace and Clem, who are already like that much of a next level of other players, Ace boosts above Clem, you know, even a little bit more. And so there was no one who could possibly tie this time. There was no one. Henrik is good at Train, for sure, and we might see some of him later on. But in 08, 09, it just wasn't happening. It truly and utterly was not happening. And again, let's look at the these are the time cutters from 2008. And we can see, like, Boss is an NTSC player, I'm an NTSC player, Clemens and Ace. So who's gonna match or improve any Train times? It's not gonna happen. But in 2009, a new fellow would arrive on the scene. A man by the name of Marc Rutzou. a PAL player from Denmark. Someone who, again, is one of the big three all-time players, can get untied after untied, plays PAL, is amazing. Might he be the one to match Ace's train records? And, well, he was. In October 2010, he matched Ace's 125. However, the video is unavailable. Classic Marc Rutzou. Let's take a look at the rankings just after he had tied this time. Because now he's been in the community for like a year-ish. Maybe even a little bit more than a year. October 2010. And I want to see like how deep of an impact he's had on the rankings to this point. October 2010. So a lot of Clemens, a lot of Ace, and Marc is starting to make some moves, you know. He's got some records, got an untied on Aztec Secret Agent, got some jungle records. I mean, again, remember, this, you know, Clemens, like I said, Clemens probably wouldn't threaten train records because he plays NTSC. This 1 minute on Agent, this was heavily discussed in the Train Agent SpeedLore. This is the run where Clemens, you know, went into medical shock at the end screen. A miracle of a run. But you can see Marc is the one to impede on Ace on Train Secret Agent. And after he tied the 125, Marc's like, you know what? Actually, if we check back in a couple more days, only a few days after that, Marc would tie the Train 00. So Marc is the one impeding on Train. And Marc's like, I want to start making Train my level. This is Marc's moment. And he's going for it. If you're light sensitive, you might want to turn away or turn down your brightness. This is a classic Rutzou Vision video from June 2011. Let's take a look, guys. Well, that's what I would call an unbelievable and truly remarkable world record. And I mean, this was done in June 2011. Obviously, Marc, gets the Untied. He's pretty happy about it, pretty pumped up about it. I actually had never seen that video before putting together this lore, and I didn't realize that we had another epic Rutzou Vision video on our hands. But that was the way Rutzou filmed in 2011, and obviously, I used to be kind of tilted about it, more so when these were like the Untied world record and no one could match it and so on. But 10 years later, it's cool to look back nostalgically and kind of have a laugh about it. It's what makes Marc Rutzou Marc Rutzou, and so, yeah. We all love it. When they appear in SpeedLore, we all love it, that's for sure. So we appreciate Marc giving us something to have a laugh about. Marc got this Untied, it was amazing, and he was going for it. He would go for the Untied sweep. And in early 2012, half a year later, after he got that 124, he would get his Untied sweep on train. 150 double agent. He had 58 on agent, insane. 124 on double O. Unbelievable stuff. And this is the kind of thing that makes him a legend in the game. Now, 2012 is an interesting time in GoldenEye and Elite history, because it's when Twitch streaming started popping up. And at this point, like, the game, in a way, was kind of dying. Like, if you look at the records in 2009, there's very few 8 seconds of records. 2010, a bit of a more normal year. 2011, it's dying. Only Clemens and Marc are still holding on to the game. So, like, who's out there gonna keep playing and get Untied records? The game is starting to fade away. People are starting to lose interest. It's only Clemens and Marc still playing. But the resurgence of Twitch and live streaming would change all that forever. By summer 2012, we all know Siglemic streaming the 120 star attempts got every speedrunner back interested in speedrunning again. And many players would return to the Elite community, play GoldenEye again. And a lot of new eyes and new technology was introduced to the game. The run I'm about to show is one of the most controversial in GoldenEye history. I did a full video about this last year, about a strategy where if you take a second controller plugged into the N64 and push down on the circuitry, it has bizarre effects on the game. It freezes the in-game timer while allowing some other in-game actions to take place. Trent H discovered the strategy. He got a few facility times with it, and then he was like, we were pressuring him to reveal what his strategy was, how he get these Untieds. And he gave his strategy to one of the proof moderators, Axel Z. Axel Z used it to get this run. Let's take a look. We're about an hour 15 in, and a little bit more than halfway, I would say. So there's still a lot to enjoy, Falcon. Now, this run, Axel Z, he was a solid player. I think he got up to the top 10 at one point in his career. But he was, never got any Untieds, got very few world records. So he wasn't an all-time great. He was a good player. He wasn't an all-time great by any means. And he was like the proof moderator as well, which is a thankless job for sure. And you can tell this run isn't as good as the other, as Ace and Marc's runs. It's nowhere near. It's a fair run, but it's not the best thing in the universe. So and he's going to take out a couple locks before shooting Ormov to make sure he can do the locks fast enough to escape before Natalia sees him. It's true, Yendis. We got a little bit too mad, and so, you know, we forgot to kind of ask how it happens. Maybe, you know what, maybe this is the year we revisit this strategy. So, he gets the ending, it starts to fade out, he pushes down the second circuit. The game is now frozen for while he's pushing down on the circuitry on the second controller. The game is now frozen. The in-game timer has stopped. However, Natalia's hacking objective, for some unknown reason, is still going on. And so after about 20 seconds, he releases the second circuitry. The level completes and fades out, and he gets a trained secret agent 119. When the strategy was revealed, and he posted, you know, we learned what happened, you could only describe pure rage emanating from the forums. I mean, this is around the same time that the whole Henning splices were being discovered, and I mean, this was a tumultuous time in the community. I mean, Bongo Jun, you bring up a good idea. It would be fun to make this its own category now. But at the time it was revealed, we were so blinded by rage that we just wanted to discard it and wanted nothing to do with it. And especially furthered was that it felt to a lot of people that, you know, Axel Z had been... Trent had shared this strategy with Axel because he was a proof moderator. And now, before anyone else knew the strategy, Axel Z used the time himself to get an untied. And once this all came out, it felt unfair to a lot of people. You know, oh, he's using his knowledge that he's only privy to because he's a proof moderator. You know, this was unfair. This is not right. And people were pretty mad. You know, nowadays, I think a lot of the anger was maybe overblown for sure. But you know what? Back then, that's how we felt. That's how we felt. And you can't deny it. Axel eventually resigned from his position as proof moderator in all the chaos. And I do feel bad for the guy, because he's a genuinely good dude, and we were too hard on him over the years, for sure. Looking back, I can see that now. But it was chaos. It was chaos, and we were pretty mad about this. And I remember a post Axel said something like, you know, when the strategy came out and everyone was like, this can't count, this is the dumbest thing ever. Axel replied like, I never for 1 second thought that this would be banned. That this would be like, every single person in the community would reject this as a strategy. He thought it would be like a legitimate way to play the game. As, I don't know if Trent did. Trent has always been kind of a pot stirrer. He was just trying to find something cool. But Axel thought that this would be the way we'd play GoldenEye from now on. And the thing about making it a new category, which, you know, maybe this year we'll look into it more and we'll, you know, not official on the rankings, but for fun on the side, we'll relearn this lost knowledge that we discarded this like burning the Library of Alexandria. We didn't want to hear it, and we just said, no. But maybe we'll try to rediscover it this year. The thing with this is that, theoretically, Train, Secret Agent, and Double Agent, the record could almost be as fast as it is on Agent, because you don't have to wait for any hacking. You have to get to the end of the level. You do have to shoot Ormov instead of just ignoring him like you do on Agent, but that's only a couple seconds. Then you do the locks, get out, run to the end, and freeze the game with the second controller. So you could theoretically get like 105 on Secret Agent, 105 on Double Agent, which would be like a 50-second time save. Yeah, you'd be saving like 20 and 45 seconds. You'd save over a minute if it were allowed. And it is kind of interesting as you think about things like the overall combined time barrier of the game, it's like this thing is out there that could technically save a full minute. Should we allow it? It gets into this interesting philosophical debate. But at the end of the day, most people agree that they don't want to allow this on the main rankings. I agree. If you want to learn more, I have a whole video about it on my main YouTube channel, so there you go. Speedrunners banned this for being too game-breaking, is the video. But the state of GoldenEye around this time, fall 2012, was really quite something. Everyone was rejoining the rankings. Everyone was playing again. We were on the cusp of greatness. It was also the era where people were starting to get more comfortable, sharing their lives online, live streaming, updating your friends. Oh, I can't stream today. I have this thing going on. People are getting maybe too comfortable sharing bits and pieces of their lives, and it really. Now we're in the age of everyone's super connected online at all times. Things like showing off your room or your house or so on are getting more and more popular. House tours. People did house tours and room tours in the past in the Elite, but only on like a small scale community setting. You share with 20 or 30 friends, that's it. That's what the internet is good for in a lot of ways. But now we're in the age of streamers, growing, tons of money to be made, all this kind of stuff, right? It's really affecting how people interact online. In October 2012, specifically October 3rd, a video would be created and shared to the community. This is perhaps the most infamous, notorious video in the history of the Elite. I truly believe that. I mean, when you think of epic storied videos, of course, Streets 112, Dam 52, this one is right up there. It's 8 minutes, 16 seconds of glory and beauty. Remember the date, October 3rd. Let's watch and enjoy, my friends.
Alright, this is Nicosi here. This is where I live. It's like 8 p.m. now. Just find my keys so we can get inside. This is the corridor, whatever you call it. I just bought some McDonald's, 3 cheeseburgers and 1 quarter pounder. It's kinda hungry. I guess the camera is a bit shaky, sorry about that. Not really used to holding cameras. This is where I live. This is the kitchen. Kinda messy. I haven't done the dishes since Patrick was here. He was here, what was it? Oh yeah, August the 28th. So it's like a bit more than a month. It's kind of gross, but I'm pretty lazy. I just take, if I need something, I just wash it and take that.
August 28th to October 3rd, 2012. Rest in peace, Marc's Dishes.
And this is the closet with some clothes in it. This is the bathroom right here. Not much to show, I guess. Pretty standard. My dirty clothes, some dirty towels. This is my bed. I have this t-shirt on when I sleep. The couch, which I never use, and a table, which I never use either. I always sit here by my computer. And this is the TV here. So if I'm playing, I'm sitting like this. If I'm not playing, as I'm sitting at the computer, I'm sitting like this. Playing, computer. Scarface, Pulp Fiction. Pulp Fiction, my favorite movie ever. Seems like a voter wrote something. Yeah, I just got don't know if that's a small show around here. It's a one-room apartment. Probably not. This is the N64. GoldenEye PAL, which has no there's no picture on it. I don't know why, but I kinda ripped it off when I was little, just for fun. Japanese GoldenEye, which Router sent me. Perfect Dark PAL, and the converter. GoldenEye NTC, the converter, and a PAL game in the back on it. Football. Yeah, and I just got a world record, on-site world record. It was already on-site, but I improved it with 1 second. So here it is.
What an insane video. I don't even think Locke will be mad. Like, I think this is better than Streets 112. This is the best, most epic, most legendary GoldenEye video ever made. Like, it's it. There's nothing better. And, you know, I know I was, you know, a bit hard on the guy. I made a video once, you know, comparing this to a, some sort of shock snuff film from the early 2000s. But honestly, this is it. Unbelievable. What a video. Look, the dishes, and again, people are right. Like, it's not that, there's worse. I mean, we've seen famous clips on Twitch of people, you know, who are hoarders, their rooms full of garbage. We've seen this. There's a lot worse. The point I like to illustrate with this is, like, yeah, these are the depths Rutzou had to go to get train 123, lowering his own Untied. And, like, it brings in, like, a philosophical question, you know? It's like, is it worth it? In order to get these amazing GoldenEye speedruns, sometimes you have to dedicate your entire life to the run. And that's clearly what Marc did. He dedicated a month straight to getting train Secret Agent 123. And it's like, is it worth it? And it's a hard question to know. You know, I think a lot of you would agree with Dynamics DJ. It's not worth it. But like I said in a previous episode, I think Control, it's like, there are so many people out there to live normal lives. Maybe it's our destiny to be the ones who give up a month of our life to get train Secret Agent 123, you know? Like, maybe that is it. Maybe it is worth it. I mean, think about how much joy Marc has brought into the world with this run. You know? We all love it. We all love it. We all look at it in awe and admiration. And, maybe a bit of disgust, but that's, like, part of human emotion, you know? It's like, think about how many emotions are going through your mind when you watch this. And I like the comment in chat earlier about the Pulp Fiction and Scarface posters being, like, from Doomer memes. I mean, it's so true. I feel like there's this era of guys, you know, I think Marc's 3 years younger than me. You know, guys born in a very slight window, maybe 86, 87 to, like, 93, who are, like, the ultimate doomers in a way, and this is what we have to bring us all together and make it worthwhile, these crazy videos and runs and memories, and nothing but love for our champion of train Secret Agent Marc Rutzou. That's what I'll say. Unbelievable run. Unbelievable. And the run itself is actually amazing. You know, I wasn't sure about this graphic. I was like, did Marc design this himself? But Ilu in chat just said Ilu designed it. Ilu was taking some graphics design courses for a while there. And I thought it was really clever how Inkosi was like his, you know, his username. And it fades into a lion. And Inkosi, I believe it means, like, king. I'm not sure which African language specifically, but one of them. And everyone's like, what is this Inkosi word? But that's where it comes from. So the Inkosi fading into the lion's mane is really clever and really cool from Ilu to make that. And I will say this run, again, we know October 3rd, 2012. We're now in February 2020. 123 on train Secret Agent is still the world record. That's how good this record is. You know, sometimes when an amazing video happens, but the record doesn't stand up, it kind of loses its luster. But a Zulu chief, there you go. Chief or master in Zulu, there you go. That's what Inkosi means. But the way Train 123 has stood up to time, it only improves this video's luster. Yeah, that's, I mean, look, we all, Marc is just this fascinating character for all of us. You know, last year we did the Silo Agent SpeedLore episode where he duped 59, destroyed his console. Some people are that. These fascinating lenses into society. And we wish him the best. It seems like he's doing well. You know, yeah, we were hard on him over the years for the dishes and you know, getting mixed up in the truth contest and whatnot, but hey, over time we learn that kind of thing can happen to all of us. And many of us have been there or in similar situations. And that's I think that's why we like Marc, because we see ourselves in him. You know? We see he's not afraid to show these pieces of him that we all have, that maybe some of us don't want to show, but he's, you know, we see it in him. And a legend. That's all we gotta say. The legend of Marc Rutzou and Marc's Dishes. Marc Rutzou trained Secret Agent 123, and believe it or not, it is still the world record today, still worth 100 points. Incredible. There are very, very few records, especially on complicated, long levels, that can hold up for 7 or 8 years. And that's one of them. A thing of beauty. And again, to imagine the depths Marc had to go to make it happen, hard to say it's not worth it, now that it's still the record 8 years later. Spending a month just going for the record straight. Who knows? That's up for everyone to decide on their own, I suppose. But there you go. And this, you know, he improved his own Untied, and he continued this Untied sweep. Train 58, 123, 150. We can see Streets 112 poke in there, the MR Untied time. That's pretty cool. We're in early 2013 here, so some historic stuff on the rankings. But of course, would Perfect Ace really let Marc Rutzou have the Untied sweep? Probably not. Let's see what Perfect Ace is going to get up to here. This is from July 2014. Ace is trying to tie the 123. Let's see what happens. Lockwood motivated him. Wow, I didn't know that tidbit. Full speed on that break is pretty tough. That's what you gotta do now. So he missed pressing B on the door there, but it was like less than like a quarter of a second. Ace choked the locks. He knew he wouldn't be able to escape without Natalia seeing him. He choked the locks. So what Ace is going to do here is he's going to wait, basically play this old strategy. And he's going to leave, remember, with about 29.5 seconds left. Let's see what time he gets old strategy. Oh man, oh, that's... Remember, we're getting fade out of 30.5 nowadays. 16.7. 14 seconds lost because he didn't get the lock fast enough. Train Secret Agent 137 with about 14 seconds lost. This was probably 123 pace if Ace were able to escape the train and wait at the end, but he didn't. What is interesting, though, is this gives us an indication that if Henrik's strategy was never discovered, this would probably be the world record, 137. Probably. It is the fastest time done without escaping the train early, so a really good run. I'm really happy that I was able to find this and show it in lore. Ace dug it up for me. A great run. Yeah, and gives shows like how the level, where it might stand if these strategies weren't invented in the past. Let's watch another run from around the same time. We're in July 2014. Missing 2 locks. Some of it feels like luck at times, you know? Natalia, I'm coming, James. So Natalia, he didn't escape fast enough. Natalia follows him out. She fails her hacking objective. Let's see, the fade out is 45.5, so add 15 seconds. 108, this would have been 123 had he escaped faster. Another 123 fail. But you'll notice, like, these are 123 pace, not 122. Is 122 possible? I'm sure Henrik's looked into it, Resort, but I don't know offhand. A bit of a stuck on that guard. But, like, I can't describe how difficult it is to get through these with speed. It's insane. Oh, man, just... And the guard trolls him. Oh! I'm coming, James. Son of a gun. Son of a gun. What was the fate out there? 45.5. Add 23 seconds. Dude, wow. That was 123 pace. And it looked like there was a couple of mistakes there. It looked like, you know, he got stuck on one guard. The green room. I'm surprised that was 123, man. Like, a bit stuck and a bit unoptimal at that door. But, like, not a full second. And then here, it looks like the laser doesn't make contact, like, right away. Well, yeah, I mean, another tough run, another tough luck, man. But look, these 123 pace fails, we all know Ace. Ace is amazing. Ace can stick with it for a long time. Ace would keep playing. And on July 30th, 2014, Perfect Ace got this speed run. So remarkable. It's dedicated to our SpeedLore champion, 4-Day Bender. Thank you for supporting SpeedLore ever so generously on Patreon. Enjoy this amazing run by Perfect Ace. Well, as much as I love, you know, with or without you by U2, I gotta at least tune it down a good deal here. I don't know exactly what inspired Ace to use this song in this run. Maybe he just heard on the radio and he was feeling it. But, a good one. And of course, I mean, look, you guys know what it is. Oh man, he's lucky the ZMG guard, like, I don't know about lucky, but the ZMG guard could have hit him there, and he didn't. Ace has to clear out a guard. He tried to close the door, but it kind of got stuck, and he's still gonna nail the locks and finally clutch the run that he need. That was beautiful. That was absolutely beautiful. He's sneaking back and shooting these guards out. No issue. No worries to be had. Clutchness defined. I mean, those locks were pretty fire, that's for sure. I don't know why he was squaring off the guards there. It's not like a bad thing, but just kind of interesting choice. He left the train at 33.6, 30.5, pretty much a perfect ending. Train Secret Agent 123. Well, so lag is created, Moxie, but the in-game timer adjusts for it. Like, watch the timer at the bottom of the screen. It's going down, like, it's basically running at like 10 frames per second. If you see the right mouse decimal locked in place, which happens like for a bit of time, the timer's moving at 10 frames per second, which is pretty laggy, pretty low, but the timer and the lag account for each other, so you're not losing any time. You do lose time if you're like playing through the mission, because you lose inputs, you lose whatnot, but since you're just waiting around at the end, it doesn't matter how laggy it is. PAL's 25 and NTSC's 30. So the fact this runs at 10 at the end shows you how laggy Train can be. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Amazing run, wow. Well, there's only one more run really to show. I'm going to pull up the rankings again, just to give you an idea here of where we're standing at the beginning of each year from here on forward. So we were at, this was July 2014. Let's take a look around this time of the year in 2015, shall we? Oh, okay, that's interesting. I appreciate that suggestion, Dogger. So, yeah, MRRI. Ace is now untied with 149, but now Mark has the 58 still there. 112.13. You can see how slow this is moving along. February 2016, a year later, we're below 112. Mark has tied Ace's 149. Pretty good. Early 2017. We're barely cutting any time, and still the train times are the same. But in this era, Henrik, the inventor of the train strategy, was like, you know what? I want to take back my glory. I would enjoy getting the world records once again on train. And so Henrik, in December 2017, would attempt to do just that. Very nice eliminations on those guards. Ooh, that is a bit of an unfortunate back boost. Henrik probably felt the run was really good and then noticed the back boost and was like, you know what? I'm gonna really YOLO the ending He got good contact on Ormov. Let's see what happens here. I mean, Riolo said something pretty remarkable happens here. He probably just really YOLOs this ending hard. Leaves it like 34.2. 30.75 ending completes. Train, Secret Agent 124, 1 second off-world record. But I mean, that .75 ending is really insane. Probably the highest we've ever seen. I'm just gonna go back and watch the, 30.75. I'm gonna go back and watch the original run. The, example run. Now, I intentionally shot Ormov a bunch of times to delay the timer from starting. Remember? So it's like... when you shoot Ormov, the first contact of shot initiates the timer between right now and the countdown timer starting, but not until he's fully passed away does the timer between now and Natalia starting to hack start. So that was like a 5-second delay. So again, usually Objective C will complete around 29.5, but on this one it's going to complete way, way later. And so that shows you why you want to have really clean contact on Ormov. And I bet you, yeah, it should have completed 4 seconds ago. Wow, I delayed the timer by 6 seconds. Insane. I bet you on that 124, Henrik has like super good contact on Ormov. Probably headshot. Well, body shots probably eliminated him right away, so pretty good stuff. And, I mean, Henrik would keep going, my friends, he would. On December 27th, 2017, Henrik would get this speedrun. Whoa! That was weird, man. The guard, like, barely... He probably lost... Again, it's hard to know if the door was opened differently, how it would have played out. Maybe he would have failed. The key's right. That's really insane. But, like, he probably lost a little bit of time. Maybe a tenth, maybe 2/10, because the door didn't open till the last second. Imagine how annoying it would be if the door didn't open at all. I mean, that's a piece of the level we didn't get to see at all. Sometimes, if you only eliminate a very small amount of guards, they won't even open the last door. If there's too much lag, they'll just forget to load. Like, they won't be able to load and open that last door. So you have to go back and, like, defeat more guards. 30.57, that's pretty much perfect. Pretty insane. Train Secret Agent 123. December 27, 2017. And here's the rankings today, my friends. That's where we stand on Train. Marc, Ace, Henrik 123. Couple at 124. And then it really fades off there quick, eh? Sean McKenzie, 120. Who's Sean McKenzie? Wow, amazing stuff, man. And 123 is insane. Henrik would, not long after that 123, December 27, he would untie 00, 148, and 00's been untied since then, which is really, really impressive. And Henrik has been gunning for Train 56. He's going ham for Train 56. He has like 15 or 16 57s. So it'll probably happen. I mean, people think 56 will happen in 2020. But, I mean, again, there's a 2-second gap between Marc and Henrik. I mean, Train is crazy, guys. Train is just... Yeah. Train is nuts. I mean, look. This is spoilers on an upcoming SpeedLore episode. Train 00148. I want to see the fade-out time, though. So it's, like, exactly 25 seconds later. So, like, 148, 00 is pretty much as good as 123. Which is insane to think about. It's insane to think that his 00 time is pretty much as good as his secret agent time. Now, there's one other thing I'm going to show, which is a comparison video I made. On one of Henrik's 125s, which is on the left, he went for the long shot. You know, shooting Ormov from far away. So, I wanted to... Yeah, and you can see how, like, how quickly Rutzou's catching up. On Rutzou's 123 is on the right. And you can see this, he's just tracking him down. I synced it at the last break. Objective A completes at the same time. Henrik shoots Ormov from out here. Marc goes all the way in. I wanted to see the comparison. To see exactly how much faster it is to shoot Ormov from far away. And we can compare it exactly based on when the timer appears. The difference in timer. So let's take a look. So right now, I see 57.91 on Henrik and 58.13 on Marc. So this is roughly 0.2 seconds. .2, 0.25. At this point, it's 0.3. That's weird. 77 to 3811. Let's see later. I mean, could be video rendering. Yeah, that's got to be video rendering. I mean, look, now we're a full second apart. Well, I guess that's all for nothing. I guess we've learned nothing from this comparison, sadly. I was going to say that, you know, probably it saves 0.2 to shoot him from afar. But it saves an indeterminable amount of time. So we'll never know. Like, you have to think it saves to shoot him, but I mean, look, does it really? It's pretty close. It's pretty close. So I guess at the end of the day, when we ask ourselves, is Train Secret Agent 122 possible? We don't really know. We don't really have an answer. I think if you were to ask the guys with 123, Marc, Ace, and Henrik, they would probably tell you yes, 122 is possible on an absolutely insane run where everything goes perfect and it's low lag and stuff. But it doesn't seem like anyone is going for it right now. However, if Henrik does get Train 56 agent, you gotta think he's gonna go for Train Secret Agent 122 to attempt the Untied Sweep. One would have to think so. Well, there you have it, my friends. The history, the story, the lore of Train Secret Agent. The legend of Marc's dishes and Marc's amazing runs and the amazing speedruns of many, many others, and so much more than that. A huge thank you to these SpeedLore legends for supporting SpeedLore on Patreon. Your support really helps this series going, and that's a pretty good thing because we're going to have some amazing episodes this year. A lot of really great and historic stages are left to come. It's great to be back in action with you guys for Season 4 of GoldenEye SpeedLore. I hope you'll continue to join me on this ride. We'll be back in a few weeks for episode 29, believe it or not. So until then, stay true, my friends, and I'll see you in the next stream or video. Good night.